The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. Here's your host. The new Black.
All right, man. Good morning to you billionaires. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power shows. We're going to dive into some crypto education. Just do a quick check here on my audio. Make sure it's connected. Yeah, it's connected, right. We're going to be looking at what has happened with crypto over the weekend, and then also diving into a token called Aave, which I believe is a lending token. So there are a few different categories that we find crypto in. And, I think we're going to be, for those of us that have invested that are into this space, going to be pretty happy with what has happened over the weekend with the recovery, so to speak. And this is the ups and downs, the twists and turns of this thing called crypto as we look towards the what I would call our future. What we're looking at here on the screen is our fear and greed index showing a 25, which is actually an increase from what we saw last week or the past couple of days. So that indicates that money is actually flowing back into crypto. So it seems as though, our investors are looking for a particular threshold to get back into the market to drive prices back up. Good morning to you, Miss Tiffany Brown. How are you? Thanks so much for joining us here today. Miss Yvette Goodridge is in the house. How are you? Miss Vivian Reed Sincere is in the house as well. For those that are joining us, go ahead and let us know that you are connected this morning. If you guys missed it, we had a crypto class 103 this weekend where we covered your wallets and security and different ways for you to earn more with your crypto. So if you missed that and you want to get that class, recorded class, just let us know and we will get you connected. Also, there is a link in the description for those that have not gotten started but want to get started. There's a link to Coinbase, and I'll talk today a little bit about why I still feel like Coinbase is a great place to start. And we could take a look at that when we get into some of our news for the day. So let's take a look at the crypto market first, and then we'll take a look at some of the news that happened over the weekend. And then we will get into Aave, which is, I don't know what number it is, but it's down there in the bottom here, probably about 14th, 15th largest cryptocurrency in the world. But this is coinmarketcap.com, guys. We now have over close to 10,700 tokens that have been created in this market. About 90% of them are probably, not really good. Another 5% is doing some competition with things that are out. But we'll as we grow, we'll learn what is what's going to be adopted, so to speak. But there is an increase of money. So the $1.4 trillion in the market now, I believe last time we looked on Friday or Thursday, we were at 1.31. So another $9 billion has come into the market, basically pushing prices back up to their quote unquote, their thresholds of resistance or support. So that's actually a good sign. So I'm actually looking forward to this week. But then again, I'm looking at the same thing probably next weekend because we move into another holiday, which will be July 4th. So we can, I expect us to see some increase probably through Thursday, but then see some, then start to see again money coming out of the market as we move into a holiday. But then after this holiday, we won't really see another major holiday until August or September, Labor Day, something like that. So this stretch of Memorial Day to July 4th is a lot of holidays taking place, and typically we see the same things happening, around holiday season. So, at any rate, just in the market in general. At any rate, we have Bitcoin represents 47% or 46.7% of this $1 trillion market at $652 billion. Ethereum represents another 17%. Of this $1.4 trillion market at $239 billion, which is bringing us to about 50, about 64% of the market of the money tied into cryptocurrencies in between Bitcoin and also Ethereum, which we saw an increase of this of money flowing into Bitcoin possibly new money coming in, also possibly money moving away from some of the altcoins or alternative coins back into Bitcoin. So again, Bitcoin is still the most important and the most popular. And also we see adoption of Bitcoin quite possibly coming into another country as I think Paraguay. And then we'll also read today a little bit about Mexico. So we still have some influencers. Elon Musk, he put up a little dog tweet. Looks like over the weekend, and then we have another meme coin, the Shiba Inu, which got some traction because of Elon Musk. Again, that man has a lot of power to move markets. He's a market mover. He can do it with a tweet. But here's interesting news here. Billionaire Ricardo Salinas Pliego, Mexico's third richest man in Mexico, wants his bank, Banco Azteca, to be the first bank in the country to accept Bitcoin. So that's pretty huge news. Again, now we got Mexico and also a connection with a bank accepting Bitcoin. Not necessarily the whole country adopting this legal tender, but bringing it to a mainstream bank is pretty good, bullish news for Bitcoin. And here we have Binance, who in the United Kingdom put out some United Kingdom, and also not just the United Kingdom. There's also a report from Canada, Ontario, in Canada, where well, we'll talk about UK first. There's some regulations that from I guess you have a financial institution that these countries want these exchanges to abide by, even though it doesn't seem like they've made those regulations very clear. But if these exchanges don't communicate with the authority, so to speak, then they get shut down or they leave. So in UK, it looks like the Financial Conduct Authority has basically had Binance, which is one of the larger exchanges. So I'll talk about Coinbase a lot, but Binance is one of the larger exchanges where people exchange cryptocurrency. But then also in Ontario, Canada, not only is Binance pulling out, but they had Kraken, Poloniex, and I think another one, Bybit, something like that, which they say they don't want them operating in their country. So that's kind of bearish news. But these are exchanges. Now, there are probably still some exchanges that are available for those countries or for those citizens in those countries, but they're going to be the exchanges that abide by the rules and communicate with the authorities to be able to operate in those countries. So I haven't seen much as it relates. So while Binance is is moving out of spaces, quote unquote, again, the reason why I like Coinbase from a custodial account standpoint, they actually have just got approved to move in Japan. So it's not a be all for the whole market, but there are some exchanges. Now, here's what happens. Here's why this is important, because the people in the United Kingdom who may have been trading via Binance to acquire cryptocurrencies, they're going to need to liquidate their assets by some particular time frame, or move them to some other exchange. So that can be a little taxing on the customer that they've established a relationship with an exchange. They've been doing business through that exchange in some form or fashion. But then if that exchange is no longer available in their country, they still got to get their money out of that exchange and either liquidate it or move it to somewhere else. So that's why that's kind of important. You want to be careful when you're choosing an exchange to be able to do business through for your cryptocurrency. What's going on, Ms. Tamika Gregory James? How are you? Thanks so much for joining us this morning. What's going on, Ms. Tanisha? How are you? How are you this morning? So again, so that's why the class this Saturday is kind of important for us to recognize different places to be able to acquire Bitcoin, different places for us to be able to move our cryptocurrency if we're in the space, just in case it happens in a place where you are. You can find other places to do the business, or at least be able to, get out of positions, move, liquidate your assets, and make sure you keep your cash. Last thing you want to do is for an exchange to leave and you haven't done what you can to protect your assets, because that's kind of your job. But at any rate, we have Bitcoin jumping up, as well. and they talk about these gas fees, which is the lowest gas fees for Ethereum. A gas fee is kind of like a tax, not a tax, like a transaction fee. Some of the exchanges that that you do business on require you to pay in Ethereum to be able to make that transaction complete, and they're just letting us know that those fees have actually those transaction fees have actually lowered, the lowest they've been since December 2020. But I would also say they probably lowered because it's not as many transactions taking place. And when money is moving out of the market, we start to see that less transactions are taking place, and therefore transaction fees reduce as well. So anyway, so that's what we got there. Let's see what you saying there, Miss I'm sorry, who's this? Miss Tiffany. Wild confirmation. I have a library of contracts. I love it. Yes, loving reading them. Helps as a notary loan signer, though. Awesome confirmation after my fast. Exactly. Time out for liabilities. Only assets activity. Speak on that. BS consumer mentality. We need to be producers rather than liability collectors. You have Nikes and you need stock. Sick of loser mentality and trauma bonding is. I hear you. Hey, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna keep talking, keep teaching, keep preaching, and then those that want to get it will get it. I want to come over here. So let's take a look here. I always like to take a look at Bitcoin, see if we can pull that up. Again, we're at 34.6, basically almost $35,000 over the past 24 hours with Bitcoin. Let's look here. So we have, let's see if this is big enough. Anyway, so over the past 24 hours, which is since basically 4 o'clock yesterday, 5 o'clock yesterday, we saw this increase come back up. We see a 4% change over the past 24 hours. We have 5% growth over the past 7 days. Now, we're still down from the month standpoint, but if you look at it, we're only down 1%, 2% over the past month. So from May 28th to June to today, although there has been fear and trepidation, negative news, all that stuff, I still look at this like Bitcoin is really holding strong through all of the the bad news, all of the fear that's out there, all of the China stuff and everything else. It's still kind of holding strong, although we've seen drops of 15% here, we've seen growth of 10% there. At the end of the day, over the past month, it's only down 2%, which is pretty cool. But if you look at it over the past year, if you've been in Bitcoin for over a year, you're actually up 272%. Now, I like to go through these different charts and show you this stuff because, I still believe in the long-term, growth, long-term value. So if I only look at this stuff temporary, it moves me to a place where I make irrational decisions. I might sell too fast or something like that. But if I look at it from a long-term thing, like, hey, man, I'm in this thing for this 200%, which has been averaging over the past few years, then I hold tight even though the market declines. And so there's a few different ways to look at cryptocurrency, a few different ways to play this volatile market. But I think the best way is having a long-term perspective over the assets which you choose. And it doesn't matter whether cryptocurrency or real estate, doesn't matter. But if you look at it from a long-term perspective, it'll help you calm our, let's say, our temporary emotions, so to speak. So I'm in it for the long game. Of course, you have to decide for yourself what you're doing in the space or any space that you may be in as it relates to accumulating assets. And that's the name of the game, accumulating assets. Now we are going to dive into Aave today, which is, I believe, a lending crypto. So there's a lot of different avenues, a lot of different categories, I guess you could say, when it comes to cryptocurrency. And what we're doing here is we're kind of diving into coin after coin after coin, learning differences between the two, between them, and also trying to determine some type of value, long-term value for what that particular token and the project behind that token is bringing to the marketplace. Now, Aave used to be a token called Lend. So there we go. It is some type of lending platform, and we'll take a look at that site as well. It used to be ethlend.io. Now it's Aave. So we'll take a look at that site in just a second. This is a $206 token. It's currently $206. We have a market cap of $2.6 billion. $2.6 billion tied up in the Aave token. Once it's fully diluted, as far as maximum supply, it'll be as of today, it will be 3.3 billion in money in this marketplace. They have 16 million total tokens that'll be your maximum supply. So it does have a cap on your tokens. And we currently only have 12.8 million of those tokens circulating. So that brings, when we have more adoption of the Aave protocol project token, that brings automatically brings some scarcity into this space, where we can also, when you start getting scarce and you have your adoption, then it also drives the price of that asset up. So that's pretty good. Now, typically what we see a comparison between the Bitcoin chart and then also the assets chart. In this particular, say Aave kind of looks the same, but I'd imagine here. I mean, I'm looking at a full chart. I'm not going to try to look at that chart because it's going to slow us down. But it's the 29th ranked cryptocurrency on the coinmarketcap.com. And let's find out what Aave is. So Aave is a decentralized finance protocol that allows people to lend and borrow crypto. So this is a platform, a DeFi platform that allows people to lend and borrow crypto. I can lend out my crypto for some type of interest, and then I can borrow crypto and then pay some type of interest, right, for borrowing the crypto. Now, what I'm kind of perplexed with is on the side of borrowing crypto, which I still haven't really figured out how I would utilize that, what I would borrow crypto for, but it's out here for a reason, and maybe that borrow is to be able to swap with other things, to acquire other stuff. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I get the lending part. Lending is pretty easy. If I own something and somebody else wants to use it or wants to use it for a while, then they would pay me, for the asset plus interest for actually lending that asset out. But lending doesn't mean that they bought it. It means that they're using it for some particular time. They're borrowing it for a specific amount of time, it sounds like. So lenders earn interest by depositing digital assets or cryptocurrency into specially created liquidity pools. So this brings liquidity into the market. Liquidity just simply means it makes it easier for people to buy and sell this particular asset. So there are pools that are created for different cryptocurrencies, whether it be Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever. And that brings liquidity into the market, liquidity into the Aave protocol, and someone that's looking to acquire that particular asset, or someone that's looking to, after they have borrowed it, sell it back to the pool, they're able to do that. So liquidity makes it easy to get in and get out, to sell, to buy and to sell. That's what that word really means. It's a liquid market. It's like, it moves like water, so to speak. So borrowers can then use their crypto as collateral to take out a flash loan using this liquidity. So this is where cryptocurrency becomes a real financial product, where I can borrow against what I borrow against what I own. I can borrow against what I now own, and I can take out loans on my crypto. So that's very interesting. So now we look into a space where, by the accumulation of an asset, just like the asset could be a house, or the asset could be some type of stock. In this particular case, as I accumulate in the crypto space, I do have opportunities to actually borrow against my crypto to be able to then use real world application, whether it be, to start a business, or whether it be to buy that new car or something like that. There are ways for me to actually benefit from the assets that I acquire in this cryptocurrency space. And so for those that this may be your first time coming across this type of protocol, where I can lend out my crypto, I can borrow against my crypto, and for real world application. So from one end, earning interest, you accumulation assets, earning interest on it. On the other end, taking a loan out of it, on it, to then use it to for whatever purposes I'm looking to use it for. So Aave is a Finnish is a word from Finland, or a Finnish term meaning ghost. And it was originally the ETH when it launched in November 2017. It rebranded to Aave in September 2018, which explains that this token's ticker is so different from its name. So Aave provides holders with discounted fees on the platform, and it also serves as a governance token. Governance means those who acquire the Aave token have a voice in the future development of the protocol, which, the future of DeFi, or decentralized finance, is pretty big. I mean, and we'll find out a little bit about this whole lending and borrowing aspect here today. What's going on, Miss Lovin? All right, what's going on? No sell, no sell, invest. I hear that. Let's see here, man. The screen is small. I'm sorry. I'm reading from the screen, so no problem. I think I'm trying to make it as big as possible. I think I made it as big as possible, Miss Yvette. Let me check. Can only make it so big. Yeah, I got it as big as I can have. I don't know if this is the screen you were referring to or not. Come check them, sir. This is accountability, judgment, righteous. I hear no sale. I hear what you guys talking about exactly. Decentralization from slimy banks who still collecting on strange fruit. That's the Aave is $206, Miss Yvette. Cleaned up on Aave, loving this bearish space with great positioning. Dollar cost averaging BTC, load up with Ethereum. Good live. Yep, swap, take profit, repay. There you go. Good morning, Miss Loving Spirit. How are you? Good morning, good morning. Love your name, absolutely. Fantastic. All right, let's keep going. So the token is $206, not 200, not 2,000, not 20,000, just 206 per token to acquire this Aave on the cryptocurrency exchange. We see the founders here is a Stani Kulikov. And he's a serial entrepreneur, been in program since he was a teenager. He was an early adopter of blockchain space. He wanted to rebrand Aave so the company could offer a wider range of services beyond just Ether lending. So when it first came out, all they did was do lending and borrowing on Ethereum. And then they rebranded because they wanted to offer these services for other cryptocurrencies. So what makes Aave unique? So Aave it has several unique selling points when compared with competitors in an increasingly crowded market. During the DeFi craze in the summer of 2020, which we just came through, is one of the biggest protocols in terms of the total value of crypto locked in its protocol. Locked just means that if I stake my crypto over there, it'll be locked in for a particular time frame before I can actually acquire it or get it back. It's almost like if you got a CD, for example, in our real world experience, you would you'll do a 2-year CD. And then basically for 24 months, your money is locked into that CD before you can withdraw it and also get your interest from that CD or that certificate of deposit. So when you think of locked, that's basically what it's saying. It's going to hold in that space for whatever time frame that's been agreed upon, and then you would be able to reacquire your asset or reacquire your cash or whatever the case may be. The project allows people to borrow and lend in about 20 cryptocurrencies, meaning that users have a greater amount of choice. So this is all about choice. One of Aave's flagship products are flash loans, which have been billed as the first uncollateralized loan option in the DeFi space. There's a catch. They must be paid back within the same transaction. Another big selling point is how those who borrow through Aave can alternate between fixed and variable interest rates. While fixed rates can provide some certainty about costs during times of volatility in the crypto markets, variable rates can come in handy if the borrower thinks that prices will fall in the near future. So rates that are paid back are variable, and they change obviously over time, depending on supply, demand, depending on transactions that are taking place. And so I'd imagine that as more and more borrowing is taking place, then rates would probably fall. No. That is less and less. Wait a second. So I would, if I was a bank and I wanted people to borrow, then I would reduce the rates. And then as more and more people are borrowing, and I wanted to reduce that borrowing amount to keep my liquidity in place, I would probably increase the rates. So as more and more borrowing is taking place, which is bringing liquidity out of the pools and out of the marketplace, in order to govern that, to ensure that you have liquidity at all times, that rate must change up and down. Rates go low to entice people to then borrow more, as we see in our current state, right? Rates now are zero or negative at this point. It's to entice people to go and borrow, to entice people to go get the home, to entice people to go ahead and get the car, or whatever the case may be, to keep the economy going. But then as those things get filled and the economy gets back to a normalcy, so to speak, then they start to begin to increase rates, which if the economy is going well, it doesn't really prevent people from borrowing, so to speak. to acquire stuff, but less people are more inclined to borrow when rates increase. So this is an ERC20 token. This is on the Ethereum platform. Smart contracts are probably included here as well. And we saw that we had 1.3 billion tokens in circulations. And then we'll get to that 16 million at some point. Oh, no, the total supply is 16 million. So it's like I said, it's built on Ethereum blockchain, currently making a transition from proof of work to proof of stake. We starting to see that across the whole, all the cryptocurrency upgrading from proof of work, meaning that the mining and using that mining equipment to create these tokens, moving now to a proof of stake for just validation across the network. Also providing those validators the option to get rewards in a form of getting paid out in that cryptocurrency as well. So we're starting to see this across the board. Proof of work moving to proof of stake. Definitely look that up if you don't understand the difference between these two. We've covered it quite a few times here on this show. But so they are evolving as well. Probably some update coming soon as they continue to make that transition in the Aave protocol, or with the Aave token and the Aave project, I guess you could say. So let's take a look here at so here's some words here: tags, DeFi, yield farming, DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization. We'll take a look at the Aave website here. Oh, we're making good progress here today. So we kind of covered a little bit of this over the weekend. For those again that missed our class this weekend, we kind of was covering. Brother Wheeler did a good job of introducing us to Aave and an exchange, another place to be able to lend out your crypto, borrow crypto, earn rewards, earn interest, so to speak, grow your capital in a sense versus just letting it sit somewhere. You could have it somewhere doing something for you, and we were going to call that passive income or some type of portfolio income. So this is a liquidity protocol. Let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger for you. So Aave is an open source and non-custodial, meaning that you are in control, right? There's no exchange that's taking care of stuff for you. You come over to this platform, you're going to need to manage, your account, manage any type of passwords or anything like that you get from entering this, for earning interest on deposits and borrowing assets. All right, so we understand, finance, right? Earning interest, that's lending. Or on your deposits, become a lender, not a borrower, or borrowing assets. So borrowing against your assets, borrowing assets as well. So there are some strategic things that you can do once you become an owner of assets, and cryptocurrency is considered to be an asset at this particular time. They define it as such in the space, and this is the decentralized finance space, or DeFi. Now we see here they have all these different AMM markets, automated market makers. You have your Aave market for version 1. It looks like they have a version 2 Aave market. Market just simply means a place where people go to buy and sell. You have your AMM market, and you have your Aave market on Polygon. We'll probably take a look at Polygon tomorrow, which is Matic. I think we'll do that tomorrow since that came up today. And so as we look here at different assets, typically, at the top, we see a lot of these, what we call stable coins. Seems to have, I'm not going to say they pay the most in percentage, but we're going to take a look here I want to take a look at market size. I wonder how they have it right now, how they have it. Let's take a look at total borrow. All right, let's take a look at total borrow. So the USDC coin is $4.1 billion market size, and it has $2.86 billion let's say $2.86 billion that are being borrowed for the USDC coin. So so borrowing this token. Now there's some people that's lending it out. Those who lend it out or who add to the liquidity, they're getting paid 1.97% for making their USDC available through this platform. And then those who are borrowing it on a variable rate are paying 3.08%, or if they're on a fixed rate, they're paying 10% to actually borrow the USDC. All right. So again, I'm a little cloudy as to me borrow. What obviously there's some lending and borrowing going on. I get the lending part, but I'm still trying to figure out, okay, why would I be borrowing USDC? But maybe there's some things that I can do with this USDC, converting it into cash flow, doing some things with it, maybe paying a better rate that with crypto than I can with a traditional bank, or maybe I'm unbanked. And this is a way for me to maneuver around the centralized banking system to more of a decentralized banking system. Just an interesting space here. So, but to borrow this at 10.54%. So this is really how we also see how kind of a bank works, right? Where you put your money in the bank, you're depositing it into the bank, you're becoming a lender to the bank, but the bank is paying you 0.02% or something like that for the money that you have in your savings account or something like that. But then they lend that money out to people that are looking to borrow to buy the house, buy the car, stuff like that in our current system. And of course, that borrow rate is 5%, 8%, depending on your credit score and all that stuff. In a decentralized space, your credit score doesn't come into play. So no matter your credit and all that stuff, here's your APRs currently. Your APRs currently for borrowing on this the stable coin. So you have DAI, which is the next most borrowed asset in this Aave protocol. USDT coin, which is Tether at 774 million. Again, very similar rates here, 2.89 if we add Tether to this to the liquidity pool, 3.72 variable rate if I'm borrowing the Tether, 11.86 if I'm on a stable APR. We have Wrapped Ethereum, True USD, that's my first time hearing about True, Wrapped Bitcoin, SUSD, Gemini Dollar, which is probably from the Gemini platform, Chainlink. We're going to cover Chainlink this week as well. Curve DAO down here, which is interesting here. The Curve DAO is paying 8% to add to this liquidity pool, 21% for people to borrow against it. The Binance token, which you just covered, Binance is the most popular exchange. That's something that's being lent and borrowed their coin or their token, and that may be for the people that borrow it to then use it to acquire other stuff on Binance. We have Engine coin. We've covered Engine before. Synthetics. We haven't covered synthetics yet. Yearn Finance will be covering this week. So different rates for different coins, different deposit rates or lending rates to as rewards, and then also obviously different rates for people to then borrow against that, borrow for those tokens as well. So obviously, these stable coins, from what we're seeing here, they really come into play. Those seem to be the, and I can get that, right? It remains its value whenever I take it out. It's dollar for dollar, so to speak. But they seem to be the ones that are really being exchanged. Really, a lot of borrowing and a lot of lending going on with these stable coins. USDC, DAI, USDT, top three as far as your volume. And it drops off tremendously, from 2.86 billion, 1 billion, almost 1 billion here, down to 165 million. So this is where, where you may be acquiring DAI or USDT or USDC and some other platform, and you may say to yourself, well, hey, this USDC coin, if I'm over on Coinbase, for me to have it just sitting there, they're paying me 0.15%. Well, over here for that same amount of USDC, I could be getting 1.97% for having for staking this USDC over here. But this is for a 1 year period. So that lockup period is 1 year on the for participating in this market and making your USDC or USDC coin available for others to borrow and use as if you are kind of the bank. This is the market, and you become the bank to be able to lend out, and then also quite possibly to be able to borrow as well. Now I'll click here. It looks like it's going to take us to the app, and we'll see here what this thing pulls up. This is very interesting because it shows a rate. It showed a rate, then it showed a market rate. I just want to see what this might show us here. All right, so here we have, in order to participate in this, you would need to connect a wallet, your own personal wallet. We discussed that over this weekend. Again, if you missed that class, reach out to us so you can get that class. You can learn about different wallets so you can connect wallets. If Aave is a place where you want to start to learn and participate in to lend and to borrow from your assets that you may own. Here we have it looks like we have what's this 100,000 million 2.86 billion dollars that have been borrowed in this space, and we have and this is for the USDC coin, and we have 1.2 1.2 billion still available for liquidity to liquidate. The deposit rate is 1.97. The stable borrowing rate is 10.54, and the variable borrowing rate is 3.08%. Maximum loan to value 80%. So if you're in finance, you recognize this stuff. Liquidation threshold 85%. Liquidation penalty 5%. All right. So I can't even scroll up and scroll down. All right, Aave will never. So here's the thing right here. You probably can't see this, but this is the platform where you're going to get your own private keys and seed phrases, right? They never ask for this stuff. This is stuff that you would need to keep up with on your own because this is a non-custodial. The difference is if you're on like Coinbase, maybe even Binance, even Gemini, they keep the keys and give you access, so you don't have to keep up with that stuff. When you start moving to next level wallets and things like that, you keep your keys. You have to keep up with that stuff so that you keep up with your cryptocurrency. You keep up with your account, so to speak. So that's just clicking on that particular token there, and we can look at different markets here where you have lending going on for cryptocurrency. So this is just to me, it's just a wild space, that. You can deposit, you can borrow. Let's look at this swap. Looks like you can swap out token for tokens. Oh, of course, you need a wallet connected. You can stake Aave if you have Aave. I wonder what that. It looks like you staking Aave is a 7.24% APR. 10 days is your cooldown period. So this is interesting. If you acquire Aave, that's that $200 token, stake it over here to add liquidity. They'll pay you 7.24%. That's very interesting as well. Let's go back over here to the regular platform, regular website, see what else we can find out. So it looks like it's 4 different markets. You have your Aave protocol. Is there anything I need to press there? Frequently asked questions. Let's do that. FAQ. So this so they have like a little glossary to go in and ask questions. Yeah, let's see here. Layla Love, what's going on, Layla? How are you? Tiffany Brown, totally love this token. Oh my, Polygon was awesome utility, all about it. By borrowing funds, crypto investors not only contain the risk exposure of their assets, but also obtain funds to use without selling their holdings. New World offers loans on higher value collateral. Over collateralization reduces the risk of borrowing, as well as borrowers can borrow at a lower interest rate. Oh, that's good news. Why borrow cryptocurrencies against utility? Oh no, you said something else. This is Miss Tiffany Brown. Looks like you leaving a link. Oh, got a link. Okay, no problem. They are being tough with Chainlink during class. We got we got platform with 16%. Y'all check out the class. All right, yep. Is that the website, Queen? Goodbye, slimy banks. Time's up. Stole the millions of acres of land from the people. Compounded our money. Not even 100% ROI. It's just sickening. KuCoin, I love the platform. We do everything in one place. And crypto. What are you saying here? Crypto.com card is perfect. I had issue with finance when I attempted to take profit whenever. Maybe they've gotten the bugs out. Okay, not a problem. Not your keys, not your digital assets. Okay, MetaMask is good too. Make sure you have the VPN. Good. Okay, not a problem. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I got you, Miss Brown. Miss Brown is in a hizzy. I can't. Okay, can I get this thing off the screen? Is it going? All right, so Aave, guys, let's see here. All right, try to go back here. All right, try to make this a little bit bigger for you. And these are just different places where you can kind of grab some information about these different tokens. I always like to find out about the token itself and what what it's about, what's behind it. This seems to be one of the largest, I would say, DeFi lending borrowing places. It's not the only one, but for me, I always like to go with the biggest. So it's a decentralized non-custodial liquidity market protocol where users can participate as depositors or borrowers. Depositors provide liquidity to the market and earn passive income, while borrowers are able to borrow in an over-collateralized perpetually or under-collateralized one-block liquidity fashion. All right, so why Aave? Aave protocol has been audited and secured. The protocol is completely open source. I like that. It's been audited and secured. Completely open source, which allows anyone to interact with the user interface client, API, or directly with smart contracts on the Ethereum network. Being open source means that you're able to build any third-party service or application, interact with the protocol, and enrich your product. In order to use the service, you simply deposit your preferred asset and amount. After depositing, you will earn passive income based on the market borrowing demand. Additionally, depositing assets allows you to borrow by using your deposited assets as collateral. Any interest you earn by depositing funds helps offset the interest rate you accumulate by borrowing. Now, I would say this, guys. This is where learning about money and finance, I guess you could say debt in a sense, becomes strategic. Look at this statement here. Additionally, depositing assets allows you to borrow by using your deposit assets as collateral. So I deposit assets into, let's just say, onto Aave. And then now I'm accruing, some type of passive income based upon that market demand, based upon that rate that they're paying out, right? Then there could become a time where I need to do something, right? The times are hard, or I'm looking to do this, I'm looking to do that. Well, I could come into this market, borrow against my assets, use those as collateral to then get USDC or whatever to then convert into some type of cash flow to go and do some of the stuff that I might be wanting to do. And this is where we remove the centralized bank from our dealings of I got to go get a loan, or I got to go do this, and I got to go fill out all this paperwork, and I got to get my credit score up, and I got to do this, got to do that in order to qualify for something that this central bank requires in order for me to get money from them. Well, when you have assets that you've acquired, then your assets speak for you, right? Because you have collateral, and in this particular case, you have digital collateral or cryptocurrencies collateral, and you're borrowing against that collateral. It's almost like borrowing against your own 401k, right? This is you own this, and you're borrowing against what you own, versus not really owning much, and then using your credit or your history as a way of saying how much do we trust you to pay back something for which you don't necessarily own. So this is an interesting space, in my opinion, to learn more about, and then to strategize around using as we move into this 5-10 year period of future of finance. So that's why right now, many of the people that I know that I'm connected to, we're in accumulation mode. We're just accumulating assets, over time, finding different assets that we have an interest in, accumulating those. And then many of those assets we can then use to participate in this DeFi space for passive income on top of our assets. And then at some point in time, quite possibly borrowing against those assets to then do real world stuff. So this is real. This is like real world stuff here. Now there's more little spaces here in your frequently asked questions. We'll take a look at the Aave token. It's used as the Aave token, which is what you would acquire if you were on Coinbase or if you were to acquire if you're on Binance. It's used as the center of gravity of Aave protocol governance. Aave is used to vote and decide on the outcome of Aave improvement proposals, or AIPs. Apart from this, Aave can be staked within the protocol. Safety models provide security insurance to the protocol depositors. Stakers earn staking rewards and fees from the protocol. So we just looked at that. Those who may accumulate Aave tokens. You could then stake those tokens on the Aave within the protocol, the safety module protocol in the Aave platform. And right now they're paying 7.25%. I believe we just saw that 7%, 7 point something percent as a reward for providing security and insurance to the protocol. That's what you're doing when you're staking your tokens versus just letting your tokens sit somewhere in some exchange or some on some platform that's not earning you money. So you have a place here where you can acquire assets, and you can have your assets earning you money passively over time until you decide to do something with those assets. That's the next step. That's the next level for many of us, where some of us have gotten into the game of cryptocurrency, but we're not using our currencies or our crypto as a mechanism to bring in passive income over time. And so if you just think about it for a second, just say you have, how many of you that are watching now, you are in cryptocurrency and you've been in cryptocurrency for let's just say over a year. All right, you've been in cryptocurrency for over a year. And if you've been in cryptocurrency for over a year, you just, let's just say your Ethereum or your, I don't know. We saw some different things that could be used to grow our wealth in a sense, right? Not only just on the appreciation side of the asset growing in value, i.e., Bitcoin growing 274% over the past year. What if you had a Bitcoin that was growing 274% over the past year, plus you were getting additional 7% or whatever it is for staking that or lending it out for those that want to acquire it? You still, it's a lend, so you still have rights to the asset while someone else might be using it. This is this is kind of crazy, right? This is insane, but this is what's going on here in this DeFi space, and it's opening itself up to anyone. Anyone across the globe who, I would say, number one, takes time to learn it, and then takes time to strategize around how to use it effectively for their purposes. And this is where we are moving to a decentralized, or not moving to, the option of decentralization, the option of becoming our own bank in a sense. Those options are opening itself up to the masses, to the regular Joes. You know what I'm saying? It can be a little. I would say it can be a little. It can be. I won't say it can be complicated. I will say that this is something to learn, to behold, and it's something to learn if you choose to do it. And then once you learn it and you master it and you learn how to, to strategize around the options available to you, it takes you into a whole nother space of what you can do as an individual. Okay. So let's see here. What's going on, brother? Wheeler said, yes, sir. It's during sideways movement, accumulate. Yeah, accumulate, man. Accumulate. That's what I was thinking about borrowing against your assets, like borrowing from 401k. Yep, your 401k is an asset, something that you own, something you've accumulated over time. You can borrow against that. You want some Aave, you got a user here say they want some Aave. We'll say, Miss Tim, you got a long conversation. Okay, simplify reading the white paper. Have a dictionary read nearby. Also, right time to read. Oh well, yes. That's why I love Aave. Boss move. Just use it. While I've been healing. Check out my dark horse coin family. Okay, that's right. Your horse will come in all. It's all about the cycles. Ada is going to hit. No one likes Charles, but he's a genius. Perfection is slowing him a bit, but adopted by Zimbabwe, Venezuela. I've been in since 2017. Was on Coinbase, Move Coins. Yeah, it's a good start. Good start for people who just kind of getting started. I agree. I'll be getting Aave, become your own bank. Rabbit hole goes deep. Yes, it does. Bye-bye banks. What does Aave stand for? I don't know. I know what it is. We're learning what it is. It's just a brand name, Miss Goodrich. It's something they called it for. It probably has something that it stands for, but they definitely aren't telling us here. So not quite sure if it has some definition behind it. It used to be ETHLend, and now it's Aave. I think it's just a brand name, just like a Coke is a brand name or Sprite is a brand name. I think it's just a brand name, but there may be some symbolism in this AAVE. They called it that for a reason. I'm not quite sure why, and I don't see it here. So anyway, you have your white paper here. This is kind of like your business plan if you want to, kind of learn more about that, and then we can go into these different areas of these FAQs, or your depositing and earning, your borrowing, right? How you deposit, how much will I earn? All that stuff. There's calculators in there. So this is a token. This Aave token is backing this Aave open source DeFi protocol, and that's what you are investing in. See this is the thing, right? When I now it's at $207, by the way, it's still moving. So me acquiring this Aave token is me investing in this open source non-custodial liquidity protocol. Now that doesn't necessarily mean me trading this. If I was trading this, I'm just trading it based on price. I'm trading on this movement or whatever the case may be. But if I'm investing in it, then it makes sense for me to understand what I'm investing in, which is, the belief in this protocol and the belief that that the lending and borrowing of crypto or the lending and borrowing of assets is a valuable thing. And quite possibly something I could participate in or whatever. Even if I don't, I still see value. I can still see value in this thing that I see, right? Oh, now I see this, right? These 4 different things are different markets. So if I click on different markets, it's going to have different play. So this market over here, this is what they're doing with the USDC coin, 2.18, 3.28. Over here, 2.51, 3.74. Over here, 1.97, 3.08. And then over here. Okay. So this Aave version 2 seems to be like moving. And then you have your native, it looks like you have your native tokens, which is, I think that means I don't know that difference. This is in dollars, and this is in this is in dollars, and this is I got you. This USDC is the USDC, but what does that do with wraps? Okay, all right, I get it. So this wrapped Ethereum is 2.5 billion in United States dollars, but in its own WETH is 1.25 million Ethereum. Okay, I got it. So at any rate, that's kind of an introduction and a look into not only what's going on with cryptocurrency today over the weekend, but then this token Aave and what it represents. And we kind of want to take time to learn about the tokens or the protocols that's behind these cryptocurrencies to introduce them to you guys, make you aware of them, and then you can dive deeper into whatever else it is you want to learn of some cryptocurrency that you may have interest in or whatever. Because we don't have it's like I said, it's 10,000 some odd cryptocurrencies that are out in this space, and we don't have time to really dive into all of them deeper on a platform like this. Now, we may dive into them into our private conversation, the Black Billionaires Club or something like that, as we learn more, we dive into more. Matter of fact, shout out again to Brother Wheeler for his class and the presentation he did this weekend. A lot of people missed out. And a lot of you guys that might be getting into this space, you're going to need that class eventually. So it is what it is. Aave is the Finnish word for ghost. Aave arrives from its name, Finnish founder Stani Kukleva. Yeah, native currency means for clubs located in Canada and Canadian dollar. For clubs located in the United States, the United States dollar. Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, you talking about? Well, I think native currency is I think native currency is for the crypto itself. It's native to the crypto itself. What it is in crypto versus what it is in USD. I think that's what it is. But you might right, because I don't know if it's going to distinguish between the Canadian dollar and the United States dollar. I get you though. But at any rate, Yeah, that's our time here today, guys. Hopefully, you guys took something away. If you learned something new today, been introduced to something new, go and put in the comments below. Get some pineapples in the chat for learning something new today as we dive further and further into cryptocurrency. I guess tomorrow, maybe we can do Matic tomorrow, and then Chainlink on Wednesday, something like that. I'll jot that down, and then I'll get that thing set up. But that's our time here today on the Money and Power Show. Diving into cryptocurrency, the news, what's going on with Bitcoin. There's a recovery happening right now. So for all the intrepidation that's out there, people is like, whoa, what's happening? What's going on? Listen, guys, that it goes up, it goes down. But what I'm seeing is strength in holding. I mean, it is trying to hold. It's holding the line, so to speak. And now we see it, really basically bouncing back or recovering after the weekend. As I said, I can anticipate that we'll see this recovery happen probably through Thursday. Then we'll see another decline. But these are what's happening, guys. It really is giving people an opportunity. At one point in time when we had Bitcoin at $60,000, that is in itself could represent some intrepidation. But then if you want to acquire it and own it and you can get it for cheaper, well, why not get it for cheaper? That's the thing. So this cryptocurrency isn't going anywhere. Some of them are, but we're trying to determine which ones we're here to stay and which ones we may want to own, acquire, invest in ourselves. And you have to make that decision kind of for yourself. But at any rate, I want you guys to remember this, man, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we really need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We will see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.